manuscript, what would you tell them about approaching a traditional publisher?
There's a lot to say about that. I have to admit that I'm always such a sucker for them. I've got a soft spot because I was rejected for so long. I mean, I was sitting on an Edgar Allan Poe Award finalist for 9 years, and it kept coming back.
Right.
And people even saying things like, "Oh, you need to change this," or completely. So let's just say I know other authors who, when they're told, "Oh yeah, I have a manuscript," people say, "Forget it." Forget it. It's a terrible field. You'll never make a living. They're very discouraging. And I have to admit, I'm a sucker. I'm a soft touch because, I was sitting on something for so long, and I had to keep going. But
Would
obviously,
you suggest to them that they follow the rules? And the rules are pretty
up
much
to a
out there
point.
now
I mean,
because
unless they don't work for you, you could try something like I did. But yeah, these days, the main thing is. What kind of books is it like? What kind of books inspired you? Is it related? Do you have a favorite author and you were sort of, not necessarily imitating, but because everyone starts out imitating, but maybe you could say, okay, my work would appeal to the same audience.
Right.
Yeah, then that's the first place you should write to. Okay, in the back, here's my favorite book. Okay, who's the agent for this? Because they usually
Right,
assign
it's
the
the agent, yeah.
Then write to the agent and say, I have something that might appeal to the same audience as your fabulous
what do you
author.
think of, you don't write to the agent anymore, you go on the agent's website and they give you submission guidelines.
Well, you're still writing to the
Yes,
agent,
I know, but I mean, it seems so impersonal to me.
I guess the hard part, if you're on the outside looking in, I first pictured, when this was nominated, an editor actually called me and said, yeah, we'd like to see. I sort of pictured, oh my God, the editor's office was going to be like this, I don't know, lions by the door and a long carpet leading to double doors, and it's like
Music.
no, it was basically a broom closet. These editors are, but publishing is a low margin business. So they are all approachable. I guess the key thing is they all have their tastes and strengths and weaknesses. So the basic thing is do a little research. If someone says, I do sports biographies, don't send them a cookbook.
Right, exactly.
Don't waste your time or their. So
sure.
I just mean you might, since you're asking about aspiring authors, don't just go to literary marketplace and start with A, and go through
right.
it.
Yes.
If you've got a sports biography, okay, start looking for who's done them.
Sports
Go to the bookstore and the library and look at the ones that inspired
exactly.
you.
Library
and
or
see,
the bookstore, just go and look at your genre and look for the agents and,
right, or
do
at
that.
least, or maybe the editors. At least you can
Right.
try to narrow it down.
What do you do to market your books? Do you leave it up to the...
Sit here and talk to you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. This is one of the things that you can really do because I spread this far and wide.
And I appreciate that. Really, media at this point is the most valuable. A lot of authors, I have some theatrical skill. I'm a teacher, of course, and of course at a community college, so I really need to, lay on the dramatics. So a lot of authors, we love events, so everybody loves meeting the actual audience. You write in private, and you need isolation, and we love that. But in fact, very few events attract a crowd.
Yes, I found that.
And it can be a big waste of your time and energy doing lots of them. So that actually media is more, can you get placed in print, in, radio, television,
Yeah,
on
my
the
next
web.
my next endeavor is to find a web TV. I have a tip on one that's close to where I live, web TV, because the web has so much more exposure than just TV. We have a couple of minutes left, and I would like to ask you about your future plans.
Ooh. Well, I am very fortunate. After slaving for many years in the gulag of graduate school and TA-ship, and then part-time adjunct jobs, I did plant the flag on the solid ground of a real job at Suffolk Community College, and I'm actually eligible for a sabbatical next year. This is yes, this is why everyone hates teachers. Every 7 years we're eligible for a year off at half pay. But I need it because my next novel is going to be another Jewish-themed historical, a parallel story, modern and ancient, but the ancient is going way back because the 16th century just wasn't challenging enough. I'm going to go back to the 6th century BCE, and the key thing is I had to do a ton of research, while working full-time. And I'm not finished with the research yet, but yes, I definitely need that time to get some momentum going on another Jewish-themed historical. But I guess the key thing is, when I was working on this, a local author said, well, the only reason to write a historical novel is to comment on the present, which I actually agree with because my mom's a historian, so I have a lot of influence in that. But of course, it's very subtle commentary. You have to realize, even though I'm talking about witches and superstition, still in our own time, of course, people are, whenever they feel threatened, suddenly the gut reacts, not the brain, the gut reacts. And we're surrounded by enemies who are planning on, destroying
it's amazing,
America.
Isn't it? It's amazing.
And so in the next one, I'm hoping, again, I want to be subtle, I don't want to hit people over the head with it, but the parallel story I'm hoping will be even clearer that obviously in many ways people have changed, of course, technology changes our existence, but our consciousness changes because of these means. Yet, in here, people haven't changed in thousands of
No, I
years.
don't think
We
so
still
either.
get jealous and angry and hungry and fearful.
I have this argument with my friends sometimes about, they're all for peace at any price or whatever, and I say we can have peace at any price when men evolve into angels. When mankind, I don't mean men, just men and women evolve into angels. And that's when we'll have peace and love and happiness.
Are you using that in one of your books? Because that's a great
No,
line.
because my books are just fun. I don't really get into the heavy stuff.
Just a moment of existential angst. It's a teenager,
every once
right?
in a
Come
while,
on.
yeah, every once in a while I say something important. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.